everybody, it's Sherry here with L'Amour Pours by Meme, and I did a video on a failed pour the other day, and I'm going to try to recreate that technique today. And I'm using an old canvas, I'm using leftover paints, and these paints in this cup right here are base paints or paints that I've scraped off of canvases and failed pours. I have a couple of big cups of that left over, so this is a perfect way to use that up. This leftover paint was that bright aqua green by Liquitex, and this one right here is phthalo blue by Artist Loft. The next one is that Modern Masters, it's Venetian blue. I use a lot of it, and I had a lot of it left over. Love that color. It is luscious, it's just rich. And always the go-to 24 karat gold by Deco Art. Had a little bit of that left, so I'm gonna throw it in. And I love this color. It's also by Modern Masters, and it's called Ruby. And it's in between a red and a pink. There it is, Ruby. Kind of reminds me of quinacridone magenta. A little bit redder than that. As you can see, that's an old canvas, it's dried. And I'm going to show you how I put on my base paint today. I thought with this canvas and the blue paint, you could really see how I spread the paint onto the canvas to make things work. So I throw the paint on the very top, tilt it off, and then do the sides, tilt that off, and then I go into the middle. I'll let you go ahead and watch that, and really glad I showed it to the blue base along with a canvas that is not all white, so you can really get a good look at how I spread the base paint onto a canvas. You can see there's two different colors here, but this is just practice and trying to recreate a technique. And the best way to do that is using old paint, leftover paint, and old canvases. This is just painting for fun. Now that spatula right there is one of my favorite tools. I'll try to find a link for it in Amazon. I love it. It's like frosting a cake every time I do base paint. It's just quick, it's easy, and it gets that paint spread around fairly evenly. So now I'm just getting the edges and getting it spread around. Now I'm going to be tilting quite a bit with this technique. I'm going to be throwing all that paint in the middle of the canvas and tilting again. So I'm not as concerned as I would be, say, for a pearl pour. Getting all those little goobers out with my tweezers. Always have them by your side. All right, so now we're starting with a pearl base. It's very thin. This recipe, or version of this recipe, I got from Tara Lombardi. She has a YouTube channel called Pieces of Tara, and I really recommend you watch her. She's an amazing artist, and she does a lot of different experiments for people like me, and then I take her recipes and make them my own. So the next color here is that beautiful Venetian blue by Modern Masters, and then I went in with the bright aqua green. Used up the rest of that 24 karat gold, every little drop of it. And I was going to put the ruby in, and then I decided to use some more of the pearl base just to give a little transition between the gold. And then I poured in that ruby. Oh gosh, I just love it. It's just deep and just a beautiful color. And then last we went in with the phthalo blue. And gosh, I love this palette. I will be doing this palette again. I didn't know it. They were leftover paints. By the way, I slapped that canvas down to get out the bubbles before I use the torch. Anytime you can get out bubbles without using a torch is a good idea. And now I'm gonna tilt. If you did watch the other video on the failed pour, you can see that I did kind of like the same palette where I did the deep blue on the top. I used burnt orange rather than the ruby, and it turned out beautiful. But gosh, I love this palette. I just love the colors here. So I'm looking at the bottom of this painting and I'm going, there's cloud mix in there. When I used my leftover paints, there was no cloud mix and I didn't use any. So it just dawned on me, I used this leftover base paint. Actually, it was leftover paint that I scraped off a canvas. It was such a bad pour that I just scraped it all off the canvas and put it in a cup, and I do that a lot. And it must have had cloud mix in it because lo and behold, look, there's cloud mix in there. So once again, I am doing a painting that is a pearl pour and a cloud mix combination. Unintentional this time, but a great surprise. I'm certainly glad that it was in there. And that's the fun of doing these experiments. It's just part of the fun of painting. So I'm gonna let the pearls develop, the cloud mix develop, and you all get to enjoy that with me. And there's my grandmother Dory's pick. I'm going to use it. I don't need to, but it's just tradition at this point. I always use it somewhere in my paintings. Now normally I cut out right about here, but I really want you guys to watch as the pearls develop. It's just amazing how it works. So I put it down and I'm looking at how it's developing and I'm looking at the palette and I know this is going to be a beautiful painting. And I'm thinking, oh, I did it on a used canvas, and you know, that happens sometimes, you guys. Some of your best paintings will be on a used canvas, so I will keep it, and I do love it. Well, here we are the next morning and I had to video it. It's still a little bit wet, but I know those pearl cells are done developing and they are beautiful. Look at the colors inside of those cells and look how tight those cells are. Now, I do have this recipe down and I will do it again, and I will do it on a brand new canvas. Look how beautiful it is. And no, I can't sell it. It's on a used canvas. Oh, I love the cloud mix. But I will keep it for myself. My daughter already loves it, so I will do it again. Thanks for going on this journey with me, and I'll see you at the next video.